Hello everyone, today's Words of Wisdom is from April 4th, and I quote from this Kyoten, the 10 Principles from Cantare Volume 2, Chapter 1, The Principles of Wisdom, page 19. Persistent attitude of I will never think I understood something until I am fully convinced, by Master Okawa. Alright, so this I think is such a profound section. I would like to read out loud about 5 pages from this Kyoten, starting from page 19, and I quote, Persistent attitude of I will never think I understood something until I am fully convinced. As I mentioned in my short essay, I had a yearning for wisdom from a very early age. This yearning began during childhood, but significantly intensified when I was 19 or 20 years old. My passion for learning welled up in waves from deep within me. During my youth, I was overwhelmingly passionate about learning and using my knowledge for a higher purpose. Unaware about my mission, my future work, or my destiny, I was swaying as to which path to take, but under these passions, I devoted all my energy every day to intellectually developing myself. Looking back to those years, many of the books I unconsciously chose to read contained the words and thoughts of angels who were born on earth. I chose such books instinctively, like salmon swimming upstream as it follows a scent back to its birthplace. In those times, one of the basic attitudes I considered necessary and important was, I will never think I understood something until I am fully convinced. It is the attitude of never thinking I understood something until I am convinced of it in the deepest recess of my mind. Until I grasp it completely, I will never stop studying or feel satisfied. I have been maintaining such an attitude. In due course, I explored many different fields of thoughts and study, including, but not limited to, literature, fine arts, science, philosophy, religion, poetry, business management, law, politics, economics, and international affairs. What is the great wisdom of humankind that continues to shine brightly like a diamond even today? I asked myself these questions over and over again. I considered remaining in university and becoming a scholar multiple times, but one of the reasons I rejected this path was my mindset of not pursuing something unless I was fully convinced. Some among you may be educators at university. The academic world today seems to have its own set of rules, and scholars conduct research only within the framework of these rules. Because the academic approach of Max Weber still dominates the mainstream modern research and the academic world, an analytical approach and objectivity are valued. Before presenting an original idea, one must investigate, quote, and document relevant ideas which others have already put forward. In such a restrictive world, many scholars think and read about various topics. To me, the existing academic system appears like the inside of a kaleidoscope, made of many tiny pieces of colored paper but displaying a very beautiful view. However, once you understand the true form of such a view, you realize that the flowers inside is not real. As I maintain the attitude of exploring everything to my heart's content and not acknowledging that I have understood something unless I have understood it thoroughly, most of the current academic fields were no longer a path for me. Although I have been publishing many books of spiritual messages and other books on the truth for some time, these contain very few background references quoted like, as discussed by so-and-so, or there are such and such thoughts. My books only reveal what I myself have pondered, practiced, and pondered again until I gained a complete understanding. My books of spiritual messages contain many unique teachings, but each of them struck a chord in my heart and radiated a bright light within me. In other words, they reflected my own thoughts. My policy is to never talk about or publish things I do not feel I have completely understood or I am not fully convinced of. I have explained in my first lecture, The Principles of Happiness, that this is the starting point of happy science. Now, in my lectures and books, I continue to hold to the policy of never revealing more than 10% of what I have learned. I believe I must hold back the other 90% to confirm that it is true. As such, the more books I publish and the more lectures I give, the more study and contemplation I need to do. I take this approach because only what we grasp through our hearts, not merely with our brains, ultimately becomes true nourishment of our souls. I can write in this manner because I have never deceived myself. I thoroughly explore everything until I am convinced I perfectly understand it. So I can express what I have understood in a simple way using easy words. Thank you, Lord. So the reason why I wanted to use this as today's words of wisdom is because how important it is, how important it is for us to have intellectual honesty when we study the truth. And then second, the credibility Master has, or the credibility he put in into his teachings before he publishes it into the world. So the first point is intellectual honesty. So it's about never deceiving yourself, meaning don't put on airs, don't show off your intellect. Don't study to show off how smart you are, but study for the love of knowledge, study for the love of wisdom. And Master has continuously taught us the importance of intellectual honesty. Only say that I truly understand when you're fully convinced. It's hard. It takes time to get there. That's why we need perseverance and we need persistence in our studies. And also, this will give us humility, and it will give us an attitude of never deceiving ourselves, us thinking that we understood something. And by doing so, we'll be able to hone our knowledge to a very higher level. So intellectual honesty. This is one of the key phrases, I believe, of the principle of wisdom that Master teaches us. And then the second thing is about the credibility he puts into his writing and his lectures. He says that he only gives 10% of what he's learned, and there's a 90% of reserves that he doesn't show outside. And that is to maintain and stick to what he's saying is the truth. And that takes a lot of self-restraint to do. And I really admire Master Okawa of how he does that. And I think that is the reason why he has that aura of confidence and his teachings are so profound. Like he said, it's given in simple words, but the contents are extremely deep. So that is it for today's Words of Wisdom. When we continue our pursuit of intellect, let us keep in our hearts the words intellectual honesty. Thank you very much.